MasterFan on next.
Playing up Wimbledon go down.
Unbelievable.
Hello there, I'm Steve Bottomley. A very warm welcome once again as we attempt to find a new MasterFan champion. 3 more contestants are all hoping to seize a semi-final place. 3 into 1 won't go, so let's find out who's up for the challenge. First up is Steve Marshall. Steve is a branch manager. Steve, if you'd like to come and take your seat. His son has the same birthday as Ryan Giggs and had his picture taken with him at the Cliff. He signed his card along with Cantona and Beckham. Fergie came up and then chatted about the birthday coincidence, but you forgot to ask him to sign the card.
Totally, yeah.
What happened there?
We were sitting, waiting in the Cliff, and he came over, he spoke to the wife first. He said, "How are you? What are you doing?" And I think we were just dumbstruck. And when he walked away, we realised that we could have, I'm sure he would have done it. He would have had his picture taken with my son and signed the card. It just missed opportunity.
I'm sure it was. Well, next time, perhaps, if you get another chance. Yeah. If you get another chance. Now, you've got 60 seconds first up. The first round is general knowledge questions. And you have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. You can pass, but usually we find that if you just have a go, because we don't usually have time to go back. So, 60 seconds for general knowledge, Steve. Your 60 seconds start now. Which English club are nicknamed the Lions?
Millwall.
Millwall. Sunderland's Kevin Phillips and Aston Villa's David James both began their careers at which club?
Watford.
Watford. Which former England international recently helped Burnley to promotion to Division 1?
Ian Wright.
Ian Wright. Which country knocked England out of the 1990 World Cup?
West Germany.
West Germany. Who took over as Wimbledon manager from Egil Olsen in May?
Terry Burton.
Terry Burton. Floriana, Hibernians and Sliema Wanderers are clubs in which country?
Malta.
Malta. Which club defeated Manchester City 2-1 in the 1974 League Cup final?
Wolves.
Wolves. Whose season at Leicester City was ended by a broken leg in April?
Stan Collymore.
Stan Collymore. The Britannia Stadium is the home of which club?
Wrexham.
No, Stoke City. In what year did England win the World Cup?
1966.
66. Whose penalty took Aston Villa to the 2000 FA Cup final?
Dion Dublin.
Dion Dublin, it was. Your 60 seconds are up. No passes on that one, Steve, and you've scored 10 points in that first round. Very good indeed on the general knowledge, I can tell you that, for a first-timer. Stay where you are. It's who, what, where and when now. These are questions relating to the same subject. You can't pass on these, so it is just, as I say, have a guess time. Now, who scored a hat-trick against Barnsley at Old Trafford in October 1997?
Solskjaer.
No, it was Andy Cole. What was the score when United won at Blackburn Rovers in April 1998?
2-1.
It was 3-1, hard luck. When in 1998 did Monaco knock the Reds out of the European Cup at the quarter-final stage?
Which month?
Yeah.
March.
Yep, it was March. Well done. Where did United's FA Cup run come to an end in that season, 1997 to 98?
Wimbledon.
No, it was Barnsley. Hard luck. Well, you've got 1 out of a possible 4 there, but well done on the general knowledge, that's for sure. So, Steve, if you'd like to return to your seat. Next into the red chair, we welcome Terry Berkeley. While Terry thinks he's in the next round, he readily admits he's not a clairvoyant, because at the Nou Camp, apparently, you saw Teddy score, but then you nipped off to the loo.
Yeah, that's right.
I bet you couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, because we're expecting it. I was dying to go to the loo for ages, but when we were 1-0 down, I thought, I'm not going to leave the room in case I miss something. And when Sheringham equalised, I thought, well, I'll nip to the loo quick before extra time starts. And then when I'm in there, Solskjaer scored. So missed the most important goal for 31 years.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Great stuff. OK, same as before, Terry. 60 seconds. This is just general knowledge. To answer as many questions as you can. Your 60 seconds start now. Which English club play their home games at Deepdale?
Preston North End.
Preston. Chelsea signed Chris Sutton for 10 million from which club in
Blackburn
1999?
Rovers.
Blackburn. What is the nickname of Hull City?
Tigers.
The Tigers. Name the Wimbledon goalkeeper involved in a match-fixing scandal in the 90s.
Hans Sagers.
Hans Sagers. Who was the last English manager to win the league championship?
Howard Wilkinson.
Howard Wilkinson. Until 1995, what was the name of Middlesbrough's ground?
Ayresome Park.
Ayresome Park. Which former England international played for Grampus 8 in Japan in the 90s?
Gary Lineker.
Name the only league club in England that does not play in the English Football League.
Pass.
Which famous winger for United and City was known as the Welsh Wizard?
Meredith, Billy Meredith.
Billy Meredith, well done. England manager Kevin Keegan began his playing career at which club?
Scunthorpe United.
Scunthorpe. The centenary FA Cup final was contested by Arsenal and Leeds in what year?
1972.
72, well done it was. Well, you passed on number 8. It was actually Berwick Rangers. And you've also scored 10 points as well. Some excellent scores in these first opening rounds. Stay where you are, though, Terry, because there's some questions here. Who, what, where and when, all related to the same subject. Your subject is Bobby Charlton. Who were the opponents when Bobby made his final league appearance for United in April 1973?
Chelsea.
It was indeed. What was the number of championship medals that he won?
3.
It was 3. Well done. When did he win his 106th and last cap for England, the year?
1970.
1970 it was. Well done. Where was Bobby Charlton born?
Northumberland.
Ashington in Northumberland. I'll take that. Well done. 4 out of possible 4 for you there. Well played. Back to the seat for you, Terry. And finally, it's time for Paul Wilson to take his place in the red chair. Paul, if an army marches on its stomach, then Paul could well claim to be United's general. He works as a chef in the players' lounge and therefore gets all the lowdowns on the new signings. And make sure they eat pretty well, eh? Because it's very important.
Yes, they have a choice of lots of things.
Lots of things, lots of healthy things.
Yes, nothing too stodgy and that they can possibly slow them down.
And they all stick to that, do they?
Yeah, and they always eat 3.5 hours before the game or 3 hours before the game.
Right, so they're all primed. I hope you're primed because you've got 60 seconds in your general knowledge to answer as many as you can. Your 60 seconds start now. Name the Bulgarian who was voted European Footballer of the Year in 1994.
Hugo Stoichkov?
Stoichkov it was. Which English league club shared their ground with rugby union club Saracens?
Queen's Park Rangers?
No, it's Watford. Who spent 47 days in charge of Wales in 1994?
John Toshak.
John Toshak. Which venue was staged the most FA Cup semi-finals?
Villa Park.
Villa Park. In which Italian city, excuse me, do Fiorentina play their home games?
Valencia?
No, it's Florence. Name the season in the 80s when the English First Division had a sponsor for the first time.
87.
It was 83-84. Who were the last English club to win the European Cup Winners' Cup?
Arsenal.
No, it was Chelsea in 97. Which Northern Irish player won a club record 58 caps with Luton Town between 1980 and 88?
Pass.
OK, well, you have scored 3 points. You passed the number 8. It's Mal Donachie.
Okay.
But hard luck on that. Still plenty of time to make some room up as well. Stay where you are. Who, what, where and when coming up for you, Paul. This is Irishman is your subject. Can't pass, so have a pop. Who made 118 appearances for the Reds between 1988 and 92 after costing £650,000 from Luton Town?
Mal Donachie.
Mal Donachie. What was Norman Whiteside's age when he made his first team bow at Brighton in April 1982?
16.
16. When did George Best make his last league appearance for United?
1971.
No, it was January 1974. He was through the door a few times, I think, around that time. Where did Paul McGrath move to from United in August 1989?
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa it was. You have got 3 out of a possible 4 there, Paul. Well done indeed. If you'd like to return to your seat. And after the first 2 rounds, the scores look like this. Steve Marshall has moved on to 11 points, and in a very high-scoring opening couple of rounds, Terry Berkeley is on 14 points, and with a bit of work to do at the moment, Paul Wilson on 6 points, but still plenty to come. And it's Muddle Mugs next here on MasterFan. We've taken the faces of past and present United players and altered them almost beyond recognition. Our contestants have 2 chances to tell us who the player is before we reveal the clear picture. I'll then ask each contestant 2 questions about the face we are featuring. So, Steve, next up into the chair, please. You have to correctly identify the player in this jumbled picture. 2 points if you can get it off straight away. If not, so you can have a guess. You get 1 point if you get it right the second time. So see if you can tell me who this is.
Steve Coppell.
Let's take it again, because it is Mr. Steve Coppell. So you get 2 points for that. A couple of questions. Your questions about Steve Coppell. Where was he born?
Liverpool.
He was born in Liverpool. In what year did he pick up the only Cup Winners' medal of his career?
1977.
77. How could we forget that when we beat Liverpool 2-1? Well done. You've got 4 out of a possible 4 there. You're back in the chair. And Terry, you can come up, please. You've seen what happens. You get 2 chances to tell me who this fella is, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions.
Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs. It is. Well done. Now, a couple of questions, as I said. How many FA Cup Winners' medals does he have?
3.
3. It is. Well done. How old was he when he represented Wales at full international level?
17.
17 he was. 4 out of 4 again. Terry, well done. Paul, if you'd like to come and sit down. You've seen what the lads have had to do. 2 chances to get the picture, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions. See if you can tell me who this is.
Mark Hughes.
Let's go again.
Frank Stapleton.
Frank Stapleton it is. Hard luck. Now, which club did he play professional football for before United?
Arsenal.
Arsenal it was. What year did he leave Old Trafford? They're always difficult, these year ones, I know, because it can be either way.
87.
87, well done, well done. You've got 3 out of 4 for that one. Well done, Paul, if you'd like to return to your seat. And at the end of the first half of this MasterFan, scores stand as follows. Steve Marshall has moved on to 15, but keeping up the pressure, Terry Berkeley is on 18 points, and Paul Wilson has moved on to 9 points. So, another excellent first period, but we've reached half-time. Join us after the break for our Suss the Season video round, and we finish off with the contestants' specialist round. So we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the second half of MasterFan, the greatest United quiz show on the box. Let's have a look at the situation just before the break. Steve Marshall is on 15 points. Out in front at the moment is Terry Berkeley on 18, and Paul Wilson is on 9 points. Now, Steve, it's you back in the red chair, if you please. You've got a clip coming up, and you've got to suss the season. Tell me what the season is. I also want to know who scores for United and which United player has a shot saved. So try and suss the season. Right, Steve, can you tell me the season first of all?
87, 88.
No, it wasn't. It was 89, 90. Close though. Who scores for United?
Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce. Which United player's shot is saved?
I think it was Lee Martin.
It was, in fact, Brian Robson. I've got a question about Lee Martin here, though, who we saw there. He left United in 1994. In what year did he score the winner in the cup final?
1990.
1990 it was. So you have got 2 out of a possible 4 there, Steve. If you'd like to return to your seat. Next up, it's Terry. You can come and sit in the red chair. Now, I want to know the season. Also, I want to know who's going to score for United and which Newcastle player collides with Peter Schmeichel. See if you can suss the season. OK, first up, suss the season.
1995-96.
1995-96 is correct. Who scores for United?
Eric Cantona.
Eric Cantona. Which Newcastle player collided with Peter Schmeichel?
Robert Lee.
Robert Lee it was. Now, also, we saw Les Ferdinand playing there for Newcastle, but in what year did he sign for Tottenham?
97.
1997. Well done, Terry. 4 scored out of a possible 4, if you'd like to return to your seat. And Paul, into the hot chair, if you please, and it certainly is the way Terry and Steve are going at the moment. You've got to try and suss the season. Also, I want to know who takes the free kick for United and which United player puts the ball in the opposition's net. Suss the season. OK, Paul, first of all, can you suss the season?
1997.
1997. It's 96-97. I'll accept that one. Who takes the free kick for United?
Dennis Irwin.
No, it was David Beckham. Who scores for United?
Jordi Cruyff.
Jordi Cruyff. Cracking goal it was. Now, we saw Ronnie Johnson in that video as well, but which club was he previously at?
Wouldn't know them.
Right, that was Besiktas he used to play for. You have 2 out of a possible 4 there, Paul. So if you'd like to return to your seat, please. So this is how it looks going into the final round. Steve Marshall is now on 17 points, but out in front, Terry Berkeley, 22 points so far, and Paul Wilson is now on 11 points. Now, the specialist round is our contestants' chance to pick up points and show exactly how much they really do know about Manchester United. They have 90 seconds to answer as many questions as they can on a specific area of the club's history. Now, in the event of a tie-break, it'll be the contestant with the most correct answers in this round who'll progress to the next stage of our competition. So, best of luck to the 3 contestants, and it's Steve into the red hot seat, please, for this specialist round. And you're going to be answering questions on the legendary Busby Babes. A point for every one you get. You can pass and we'll go back, but as you've probably seen, we don't get enough time to go back, so it's maybe best just to have a go. OK, your 90 seconds on the Busby Babes start now. Which of the Babes scored in 8 successive league games in September and October of 1956?
Roger Byrne.
No, it was Billy Whelan. Eddie Coleman made his senior debut against who in November 1955?
Cardiff.
No, Bolton. In the 1957-58 season, who made his last appearance on December the 14th after starting every game until then and subsequently lost his life in Munich?
David Pegg.
David Pegg it was. Who were the first European Cup opponents to keep a clean sheet against United?
Real Madrid.
No, it was Dukla Prague. Who deputised for Ray Wood at Blackpool in October 1956?
Harry Gregg.
No, Tony Hawksworth. How many of the 8 players that died at Munich were full internationals?
7.
No, 5 of them were. At what ground did United's FA Cup run end in January 1956?
Bristol Rovers.
Bristol Rovers, Eastville, where it was then. Roger Byrne, Tommy Taylor and Duncan Edwards won the last of their England caps against which country at Wembley in November 1957?
Brazil.
No, it was France. Who was it that died in the crash despite not having made a senior appearance for almost a year?
Jeff Bent.
Jeff Bent. Billy Whelan and Albert Scanlon both made their league debuts in what month in 1955?
December.
No, it was March. Hard luck. No passes, and you have scored 3 points in that one. Thanks very much, Steve. Terry, if you'd like to come and sit down for your specialist round, and you're answering questions on the one and only Mark Hughes. So your 90 seconds start now. In what year was Mark born?
1963.
63. Who did he score his last goal for United against in March 1995?
Pass.
What was unique about his goal against Sheffield United in August 1992?
It was the first goal by Manchester United in the Premier League.
In the Premier League, it was. In what year did he sign as professional for United?
1980.
1980. At what ground did he make his senior debut for United in 1983?
Manor Ground, Oxford.
It was indeed. In 1984, who did he score against on his debut for Wales?
England.
England. He was sent off for the first time against which club in November 1984?
Sunderland.
Sunderland it was. What honour was he given in 1998?
PFA Player of the Year.
No, MBE. How many goals in League and Cup did he score in the 1993-94 season?
22.
21. Hard luck. Who did Hughes play against in the 1982 Youth Cup final?
Pass.
Who did Mark score a League Cup hat-trick against in September 1984?
Pass.
His 100th goal for United came in 1993 at which venue?
Selhurst Park.
Selhurst Park. What is Hughes's first name?
Mark.
No, it's Leslie. As manager of Wales, who was his first match against in June 1999? Go on, take a guess. No. Any
Belarus?
country? No, it was Denmark. OK, you have passed on number 2, it was Arsenal. And number 10, it was Watford. And number 11, it was Burnley. And you have scored 7 points, Terry. So if you'd like to go back to your chair. And Paul, come and take your seat for your specialist round. Specialist round is the 1990s, Paul, and your 90 seconds start now. Who scored his 100th goal for United in April 1992?
Pass.
Wes Brown made his senior debut against which club in May 1998?
Aston Villa.
No, it was Leeds United. Who scored a hat-trick for QPR at Old Trafford in January 1992?
Pass.
Which FA Cup scorer moved to Celtic in January 1994?
Lee Martin.
Lee Martin. When United thrashed Ipswich 9-0 at Old Trafford in March 95, what was the score at half-time?
3-0.
3-0 it was. Who scored in the first minute for Juventus at Old Trafford in October 1997?
Inzaghi.
No, it was Del Piero. In what league position did United finish in the 1990-91 season?
11th.
No, it was 6th. Kosici faced United in the Champions League in 1997. Which country do they come from?
Norway.
No, Slovakia. United lost twice in the 93-94 League Cup to Aston Villa and who? Take a guess.
Chester City.
No, it was Stoke City. Who scored his only Champions League goal of last season against Bordeaux at Old Trafford in March?
Pass.
Which Red was sent off at Bolton in September 1997?
Nicky Butt.
No, Gary Pallister. United's last Premiership fixture in the seasons of 96-97 and 94-95 was against which club?
Middlesbrough.
No, West Ham United. You passed on number 1, it was Brian McClare, number 3, Dennis Bailey, and number 10, Teddy Sheringham. You scored 2 points in that round. Paul, if you'd like to return to your seat, thanks very much. Well, that is the end of this heat, and here's the final scores. Steve Marshall has ended with 20 points, but he was out in the lead for most of this heat. Terry Berkeley has finished on 29 points, and Paul Wilson, up against stiff competition, as you've seen, finished with 13 points. So our winner, one of the highest scores I've seen so far on MasterFan, is Terry. Terry, if you'd like to come and take the chair. Well done indeed.
Thank you.
Well played.
Thank you.
Commiserations to you two guys, Steve and Paul, if you'd like to come up and congratulate Terry. As I said, very tough competition it was indeed. You got off to a flying start in the general knowledge, as you did as well, Steve, but you managed to keep out in front. You impress yourself with your general knowledge?
Surprised myself.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's been great.
Good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to come back next time.
Absolutely.
Great stuff. Chaps, thanks very much for coming along. Harder than you thought, perhaps, Steve?
Yeah.
It was pretty tough. And for you, Paul?
I actually got most of his questions right. The first two rounds.
That's the way it goes sometimes. When you're feeling relaxed over there, it's funny when you sit in that chair. That's why I sit here. I wouldn't sit on that one. Anyway, Terry, we'll see you next time. Well done indeed. Commiserations to Steve and Paul, as I said. And that's it from us here on MasterFan. Make sure you're back here next time as we continue our quest to find the ultimate Manchester United MasterFan. But from Steve, Paul, the winner, Terry, and myself, it's a very goodbye. Well done, chaps. Let's see.